This week we are discussing things that have. This week just.
Here we go, just like we never left.
This week, Rudy. This week. Holy shit! Oh my gosh! Greetings and welcome to the Mount Rushmore podcast. I'm Jeff, and as always, I'm joined by my best friends in all the world, Richard.
Hello.
And Michael.
Howdy.
Richard and Michael love to debate, they love to discuss, and they love to talk about the top 4 things that represent any particular topic. This week is no different. This week we are discussing things that are as seen on TV. Richard, you got this subject from who?
I got this from my RBI Baseball nerds on dme.com. The RBI Baseball message forum, RBI Baseball being the, I guess now 30-year-old Nintendo baseball game. And I have been a member of the internet forums for fans of this game for about, 15 years.
Oh, wow.
Traveled to meet them, traveled for tournaments around the country. So this was, a lot of them are big fans of the show. So I kind of asked for some suggestions, and this was one of the good ones.
Wow. So
none of them are cultured enough to actually come on our podcast, though, right?
We actually, hopefully we'll be getting my buddy Ryan Love, who was the only person, I believe, who responded to the aborted Facebook video fiasco when we were tasting the yogurts.
That was awful.
So I believe I'm going to try to get him in. He is a major collector of Halloween music.
When somebody says he is a major in Los
Asshole.
Angeles, usually it's followed up with something else.
Asshole.
Collector of Halloween music. Okay, cool. Well, I love that. That would be really great around Christmas.
Perfect. Or Canada Day.
Or Canada Day. Well, that does remind me. There's this RBI baseball group that's meeting on the internet, and most people buy things now on the internet. But it used to be things people purchased were advertised on television. Sometimes it was the only place you could find them. And some of the products we're going to discuss today maybe things that are seen on TV. So ostensibly, this is your choice. So Michael goes first. Michael, what do you want to start with?
Well, I have 4 categories this week.
Trying to take it back from me. I do not have categories.
Oh, good. They are food, fashion, fitness, and first world problems. So I'll start off with food, and it's the George Foreman Lean Mean Fat Reducing Grilling Machine, a.k.a. the George Foreman Grill.
All right.
I, like everyone in the world, had one of these.
I thought you said I like everyone in the world.
I don't like everyone in the world.
Oh, shit.
I barely like you two guys.
You had one.
Oh, of course.
Okay.
You had one.
I had one too, yeah.
I have one.
Mine was...
Was yours purchased ironically?
I honestly don't remember how I got it. It just kind of appeared. I certainly didn't buy it off of TV.
Oh.
I think it was
Bed Bath & Beyond.
It was just there. And it was like... This was in like my bachelor days.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like you could fit 2 hamburgers on
Yeah,
there.
it's a bachelor / early college sort of,
yeah.
or like late college. Like you're out of the dorms,
Yeah.
so you're cooking for yourself, but you're not really sure about cooking for yourself. You can handle like putting some meat on that.
Yeah.
And it had like the little like bun warmer on top where you just lifted up the thing and it kind of steamed them.
Okay.
The little buns in the top.
I didn't have that.
Yeah, that's
version of it.
fancy. You fancy.
There was the LS, like the Audi L, the luxury version.
It's not quite like the sport model because maybe it was. It only seated 2 people.
Oh, okay.
Which was basically me eating 2 burgers, sadly on the couch by myself.
So a lot of products on television offer this lifestyle change in which we will get wine, women, and song and be immediately loved by your peers. Doesn't sound like this put you into that category.
Certainly not.
Okay.
It put me into the, look how this fat and blood drips off the end of this thing into this little tray, which inevitably gets spilled all over the counter.
What I think of other products that are seen on TV, like there are infomercials in which a beautiful celebrity female might have a fragrance or a lotion or a makeup or something like that. George Foreman and thin and healthy don't seem to go together necessarily, but a guy who's fit into his advanced age does seem accurate for George Foreman.
I think he, in his later years, definitely became more well-natured. Versus being like this
Ali Boumbaye, like
this gigantic, crusher
monster,
of
monster,
men.
yeah.
He turned into this, affable man that named 10 kids after himself.
Yeah, yeah.
And then it was just like, oh, here's this lovable guy that's like, oh, he's just a guy that's grilling like any
Right.
old dad would.
Yeah.
And I think his personality probably sold it as well as anything else. He was more successful, it seemed, at selling this grill than
Yeah.
Well, he invented it, right?
that's right.
No, he did not invent it.
He
How does so you do the categories, and I guess I don't respect that, but I respect you as an individual. Do you have anything else that would have been in the food category? Because I think a lot of, as seen on TV, food. There's a lot of food prep,
Sure.
food dehydrator, and
Well, it seems that like a lot of the as seen on TV products are built out of this solving a problem that doesn't either exist, or it's solving for idiocy,
Yeah.
or it's lifestyle changing, or there's some sort of aspect of like a snake oil salesman. Like you see the things that are on there, like this magical product can do it all. This
Chop-O-Matic.
Yeah, the grill itself doesn't solve a crazy problem. It's just
Yeah.
very good at doing a very specific thing, like
Yeah.
grilling meats evenly on each side.
Did you guys have a sandwich maker in college or thereabouts?
No, like a panini.
Yeah, yeah. That's the thing. It's funny because
It's the same thing.
a few years later they tried to come back and say it's a panini press. I was like,
Yeah.
no. When I bought it, it was just like a grilled cheese sandwich maker.
when I bought the Foreman grill, it was clear that it was the surface of two irons put into an alligator formation because it had the Teflon surface, right? And it also had the reverse of the McRib indentation thing.
Yeah.
Like it has the thing that it can put the some lines in your.
Hey guys, after this, can we like grill some burgers?
Yeah.
That'd be good.
There were like a few other like quote unquote celebrity grills.
Oh yeah.
There was the Evander Holyfield Real Deal Grill, the Carl Lewis Health Grill. Jackie Chan kind of signed on with George Foreman and sold the George Foreman grills like in China, which
What are you grilling, like bok choy on there?
and then the Hulk Hogan Ultimate Grill. And
I like the Mike Tyson one. Takes a bite out of your food.
God bless you, Jeff. I was trying to think of a Mike Tyson's grill joke this entire time. God bless you.
but I
lucky.
do like that there's a category unto itself of celebrity grills.
Yeah, celebrity grills. All right, Michael came out swinging. Richard, what you got?
All right, so my first one is the Sports Illustrated football phone.
Oh wow.
So this was, guys, if you guys remember, there used to be a time when there's this thing called magazines that you actually got and you would read. Wasn't just online.
Oh.
The hottest of takes right here.
They were kind of like news. They were kind of like newspapers, but you only got them like once a week.
Huh.
Strange.
My barber has some of those. They're from like 1990 something.
Were they the ones where like the CHP? Like, did you guys have a total tangent here? Did your barber have any of those like CHP magazine ones where they would show like
California Highway Patrol?
yeah, and they part of it would be like, oh, here's what's happening to the CHP this week, and then they'd have these photos of like deadly accidents.
Oh God.
Is that just my barber?
I don't know. Objection, Your Honor, though. Quickly.
Yeah.
He's talking about magazines. Awful lot.
Oh.
Are these magazines on TV, or is this football
You
phone
could
on TV?
only get the football phone on TV with your exclusive with your order of a subscription to Sports Illustrated magazine.
Okay. All right.
Just making a.
Oh, sure.
You could
just
buy
checking it because
Oh no, keep me honest. That's
Yeah,
fine.
all right.
I have no qualms about that. So yeah, basically,
now can we talk about magazines for a little bit more?
sure. That gag really went somewhere. Sports Illustrated, in order to kind of pump up their magazine subscriptions back in the 80s, there'd be a lot of giveaways that they'd give you, like some sort of exclusive offer that on their TV commercial. Like a lot of those like NFL films, like Football Follies type tapes were the things that you would get. So like NFL's Wackiest Bluebirds or whatever, free with any subscription. And so that would be kind of a cheap way for them because they'd partner with NFL films. Well, like I think like 86, some ad wizard was walking through trying to figure out, well, what can we do that's like an actual giveaway that people would be interested in? And was like walking through a store in New York and saw a phone that was like a frog and thought, hey, that frog looks like a football. Could we make a phone? Could we make a phone that's a football?
Oh yeah.
If we were to do a quick Mount Rushmore of phones that look like other things,
Novelty phones? Yeah.
Hamburger phone
Hamburger phone's definitely on the list.
is on there. Football phone.
Mickey Mouse phone?
Mickey Mouse phone is really good, where it's just like him standing there, right?
Right.
And
And,
then
then it's
Snoopy.
like holding
There's a
it.
Snoopy
Yeah.
phone, yeah.
I really liked the novelty phone, where it was like clear, and then
Oh,
you
yeah.
could see all the
Yeah.
lights. It was a very 80s thing.
It had felt like Swatch made it, maybe.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Anyway,
And so he started researching how could we do this, and it turns out it's actually really complicated to do this because the phone itself was like here's the thing. We'll put it up on the website. I'll show you
for
guys.
all those that don't know
what a football
exactly
phone
what we're
looks like.
Yeah.
See, it's a football, and then it's a phone, and it kind of like, but it hinges like right here, so it kind of pops open like that, and then it's on like a T. And apparently,
How many awful kids ran by and kicked the phone?
all of them, all the time, and then broke their stupid foot. I hope.
Is it true that Thomas Alva Edison did a medicine ball phone early on in the development?
I believe so. Yes.
That's the funniest joke on this podcast. 70 episodes in, and that's the best,
the best
thing
we
we've
could
ever
do. Yeah.
I feel like I need to go ring ring and like right away on my penny farthing.
Oh, so apparently it took like months of R&D to try and make sure they could get it so the phone wouldn't topple. Because you have to have it hinged in the right place. You have to have it balanced at the right place. All this for a goddamn football phone.
Oh, wow.
They had to fly to China multiple times, or Taiwan, or wherever they were making it, to make sure that they understood what a football looked like, and what color was supposed to be.
That's funny.
Like they were having trouble communicating that properly. Because they didn't know anything about football like in 86.
They didn't know. Were they thinking rugby football? Or they just couldn't get it.
I don't know. I just probably soccer ball. I think that's probably
Okay,
what they would have most likely in China.
Yeah.
So I don't know exactly what it looked like.
I think this probably came out a little too early. Like, if this was a phone that wasn't wired, and if you could throw, like, oh, phone call here, and then you could throw it across the room to whoever, and then they could get it, and then that would have been a success.
And this was a huge hit for them, and it cost them like $4 eventually to make per phone.
Mm-hmm.
And it sold millions of subscriptions based on that.
Wow.
And the last big push they did was in 1990, I think. And it was in the fall. It was for Christmas. And it was basically women talking about, I didn't know what to get my husband for Christmas. But then I saw this football phone. And it comes with Sports Illustrated. So it's like basically they're selling the football phone.
Yeah.
And you happen to get a year's subscription to Sports Illustrated. And they've got the guys like, Mom, if you haven't got me something for Christmas yet, it's a phone. Now
I can forget to call you in style.
right. So last thing I will post also on the website. Very recently, a American soccer magazine called Howler did something on Funny or Die with their own version of it. The soccer phone.
The soccer phone.
And they have like Jack Black and Sarah Silverman and a bunch of other comedians super jazzed about this phone. It's a football.
Yeah.
It's a soccer ball. And it's a phone. I can kick it and then call on it. What?
Did you want the football phone?
Oh, yeah. I knew a couple of friends who had that football phone.
Yeah.
And that was badass. So, yeah, you would throw it back and forth with each other. Like, hey, look, it's a phone.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was the height of being cool back in 1986. In my hometown.
All right, Michael, what's your second?
My next is under the category of fashion, and I'll use that loosely. It's the Snuggie,
Oh, wow.
which is basically a robe turned backwards. For all of you cheap asses that have a robe and don't want to buy a Snuggie and spend the money, turn your robe backwards, and you are perfectly fine.
Or is it a blanket with with two like holes cut out for arms
Yeah, it's a blanket with two.
and a head hole,
The blanket with a head like a hole.
right?
And
9 Inch Nail Snuggie.
9 Inch
Yeah,
Nails. I'm sure there's probably a 9 Inch Nails branded Snuggie out there.
we'll get
Yeah.
the Trent Cast girl on it.
What is it about the Snuggie that's... So this is very current. I mean, one of the more current things. Some of these are trips
Yeah.
down nostalgia,
The
memory lane.
Snuggie or the Slanket, as it was also known.
That sounds like the girl at your school who everybody kind of like hooked up with at some point.
She was a real slanket.
It was also known as the Freedom Blanket,
The freedom.
which came out in like 2008 or 9.
Like freedom fries. Like what's it called? Like a French blanket before, and they couldn't change it.
Your Thomas Alva Edison joke was just trumped
Oh, shit. I knew it was
by
just
the,
a
by
matter
the
of
Freedom
time.
Blanket. I don't know. It was one of those weird things that kind of came out near, I would say, like the kind of back end of when as seen on TV products were
Yeah.
kind of at their heyday.
Yeah.
You know, before the internet really took over, or maybe it still caught some. Maybe it was an easy thing to have catch on the internet as well, and why it became so ungodly popular. It
feels like you two just bookended the as seen on TV demographic as going from kind of a young sports enjoying person to the invalid or near invalid who buy things off TV now.
It seems like it really coincided with like the Netflix binge watching culture, where all you want to do on a Friday night is put on your Snuggie and then you watch 4.5 hours of whatever show you're
Orange is the New Black or whatever.
Yeah, you can binge watch an entire season of something and spill popcorn all over yourself.
Does it hide poop or pee? Does it offer that service?
Does it?
Well, act now you can get two, so just in case that happens. I don't know. I think that there was a time when people were like also wearing them out ironically.
Yeah.
There would be like Snuggie parties and you can get like a bunch of licensed material on them and you can go to your football game and your Seahawks Snuggie blanket and feel warm and cozy.
Well, a couple of things. One, I never got the sense that this was marketed to older people. I always got the sense this was marketed to younger people.
Yeah.
Who thought
very
that
kitschy.
Who thought that would be secretly great. And this, I think, speaks to something about the as seen on TV product, but would never be seen buying that thing in a store.
Oh, okay.
Right? Like there's a sense of almost embarrassment about like I'm literally going to spend $15 on a backwards cape.
It was probably also the number one like white elephant gift for that year.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
If you're going to a party and just here you go. Oh, hey, I got a Snuggie.
Yeah, they bumped shake weight out of rotation in the white elephant thing. Wow. Okay, cool. So why don't we move on? Richard, what's your second?
Hey, Jeff, I got a question for you.
Who let the dogs out? I'm not sure.
I got a
That was
question.
the peak of 1996.
Okay.
Is that Freedom Rock?
Hey, man, is that Freedom Rock? Yeah, man. Well, turn it up, man.
Turn it up.
Turn it up, man. So that's my number 2 choice is the Freedom Rock 3 CD set.
Wow.
Something you cannot buy in stores. Oh, no, sir. You can only buy it after seeing a 2-minute infomercial featuring 2 very questionable hippie actors.
Yeah.
One of them, I think, had exactly one. The yeah, man. I think that guy had like exactly one line. And then they leaned on hippie number 1 to like, remember all those songs you loved when we were protesting and getting arrested? Well, they're all on one disc. Which I think this does speak to the idea of you could never have anything like this again. Because you know what? Make your own damn, Spotify playlist. You're fine. You don't have that sense of industrial music nostalgia. Well, here are some songs that you'll remember from the 60s. And it's interesting. I went back and looked at the playlist for what was actually in Freedom Rock. So many of these songs either A, have nothing to do with freedom, such as Locomotive Breath by Jethro Tull, Jump Into the Fire by Harry Nilsson, or Layla, unless you're talking about the freedom to bone your best friend's wife, I suppose. But or Rock, Friends by Elton John, both sides now by Judy Collins.
Oh.
The Beat Goes On by Sonny and Cher.
I'm pretty sure all of these were on Chipmunk Punk as well.
I think they were, yeah. Call out to a past episode.
Yeah.
On the surface, this is just a collection of random, like, 60s, early 70s songs.
Yeah.
But somehow by coming up with this marketing concept of this being Freedom Rock.
It used to be called French Rock. Call back to
Guys,
Call back
to 10 minutes ago.
we're just topping each other over and over and over again.
Do you think the marketing towards the flower children who are now aging was the beginning of like realizing that there was a generation of people who were supposed to turn on, tune in, and drop out, but now they're part of the media absorbing generation that's they're stuck to the TV.
At that point, they were part of the prime, like, purchasing, upper middle class society culture.
And the hippie on the commercial was somebody who was kind of cartoonish enough that you might not completely identify with him, but you'd say, like, I knew a guy like that, or
exactly. And look, it's about that initial catchphrase.
Yeah.
If they had just started in hey man, I've got this great collection of songs.
Yeah.
Nobody would have remembered it. It would have been like, any of those 20 CD Time Life history of country music or jazz or whatever things.
I would love if it was real. Like, hey, remember when Charlie Manson was stabbing people? Well, here's Bad Moon Rising by Creedence Clearwater. Hey, remember the Bay of Pigs in Vietnam? Well, hey, here's Smoke on the Water. Those were the days, right? Nixon, Watergate.
I think they might even mention. They definitely mentioned protesting and getting arrested in the commercial. So that's about as dark as they get. But still, they're basically they're trafficking on horrible memories of awful period in
Kent
U.S. history.
State student protesters murdered by the National Guard.
Here's some TiVo.
So, folks, you're not on TV. You're on the internet. You're on the podcast. You're on your iTunes or your Stitcher, wherever we are being listened to. Maybe we're not on Stitcher. I don't know. But we appreciate. We are?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. And you're with us, and we love that. So please celebrate your freedom and rock up our oh god, thanks so much for listening to us. This suggestion that we're tackling this week was submitted by a group of people who are connected with the podcast via the internet. So you are connected with us on our Facebook or Twitter or YouTube. You can suggest a topic that we could debate the top 4 of. We'd love to do that, and we'd also love to have you download, rate, and review all the podcasts that you've heard, and we invite you to give some feedback in the stars. Maybe a 5, maybe a 4. I don't know. It's your choice.
We'll take a 1.
We'll take a 1. So we're back. Michael, what do you got for your third choice?
My third choice is under the category of fitness.
Fitness pizza in my mouth.
The Mount Rushmore of body parts advertise that you need to improve, as seen on TV products, goes.
I think I know where you're going with this.
Thighs, buns, pecs, and then abs.
Abs.
And abs is the one.
Oh, really?
That we're all trying to
Need those washboard abs.
Sculpt down.
I don't know. I'm working on my thighs a lot lately, guys. Yeah, really thigh mastering it out.
Let me work on your thighs for you.
You big
Well,
boy.
the product that I was suckered into
You bought this?
back in 2000
Oh my god!
when I was living in Santa Barbara on a Sunday morning while I was eating a box of donuts was the AbGymnic,
Oh,
which might have been called like the Ab 2000. It's an EMS device.
AbGymnic is a guy in Glendale, I think.
bro, you need something.
It's a device that sends electromagnetic pulses. Not electromagnetic, but pulses.
You don't even know how it works. You can't even explain
It's
it.
a car battery with 2 wires.
Basically, you put this gel on your stomach, and then you strap a belt on, and then you turn the power on, and then it gives you this excruciating pain.
Okay.
Oh god!
Okay.
You bought it.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
I used it once, and then never again because it was so.
Then how do you know it doesn't
intensely
work?
painful.
How do you know it doesn't
Oh,
work?
I'm pretty sure they all work, but you just have to survive the pain. That's what they don't tell you.
Wow.
They don't tell you is that, yes, it is sending electricity into your muscles and making your muscles contract.
Yeah.
But it fucking hurts.
Oh god, that
a
sounds
lot.
brutal.
So what part of this made you think, okay, I've never bought something before, but this one, I gotta buy.
That guy on TV had some really good abs.
Okay.
So the girl on TV. I mean, the two of them together. That they never show you, or they show you like the person the before, but then they never show you their head. So that body that is attached to the before body,
Yeah.
that person doesn't exist.
Jack LaLanne. That's who it is.
And then the after body of the person that's working out is like, wow, yeah.
Look
That's
at
all
him.
That's all it takes, huh?
Pretty ripped, huh?
Yeah, I could do that.
The only thing I've never bought an as seen on TV product, like actually from like the TV. I do remember you. The only other thing I remember you buying that was quasi on this list that I know of was the push-up disc thing. Didn't you have one of those?
Oh, the perfect push-up.
Perfect push-up, yeah.
Sure, I tried that for a while.
And I remember you were really happy with that.
Yeah,
at first.
those are good. Like, I think a lot of these products that are like exercise products, I think they work as long as you're willing to do the work.
Yeah.
You just have to do the work and not give up and then get another box
Yeah.
of donuts.
You are the imperfect part of the chain here. You're the,
So you're saying it's just like going to the gym or exercising or doing anything else that would not involve.
So my one of my ex-roommates, Erica, was a massage therapist. And at some point, the spa that she worked for got like an EMS machine. And she was like, this was like maybe 8-9 years ago, something like that, 8 years ago. And she's like, oh, we just got this thing in. Do you want to try it? And I was like, I don't know. I remember getting like electrocuted to this ab belt back in my early 20s. So maybe not. She's like, oh, it's fine. It's safe. And so I went in, and of course, whatever. They hook up these little pads to you. It was totally different. Like it's the same sort of concept, but they hook you up to like your chest muscles and like your arms, and like you just lie there on this bed, and they basically shock therapy your muscles for 45 minutes.
Sure, they couldn't do something where it's just like anytime you picked up a donut, it just shocked you.
That's what I was
That'd be more effective, I think.
It does seem like negative reinforcement therapy, but you just grab things that are electrical, not a donut that's electrified.
Yeah, it's like negative reinforcement therapy, except without you doing anything negative.
So much of like as seen on TV products are built into how quickly you can turn your life around, how easily this one machine is, and look at this ab roller, this wheel that all you need to do is you just push it out and do like these push-up, sit-up combinations, and then 10 minutes a day. And what they don't tell you is that like it's impossible to do for a minute, let alone 10 minutes. And I think something like the ab belt really plays into that. Is like you can do it at work. You can just put it under your clothes and then sit there at your desk, and it can shock you into fitness, into a better shape. But they don't tell you that it hurts like hell.
Right.
Do you feel like today's equivalent is the clickbait or the little banner ad that says like doctors hate him or travel agents hate this or this simple trick?
The things that they don't want you to know, the Kevin Trudeau asshole, that guy.
This little trick, this one simple trick, there's always some click thing that it's your way to hack around a health situation or financial situation.
Yeah, they're all built on this lie and this idea that this is going to make your life so much easier by just doing this one thing, and all it does is cost money. And then there you go.
Wow, okay.
It's kind of depressing.
It is kind of a bummer. And I don't think, do you remember Wendy's? I think Wendy's used to have in their decor advertisements from newspapers of bygone era. And there would be an ad for like Dr. So-and-so's miracle hair regrowth serum or something like that. So I feel like thus it is today as it has been forever, in which somebody's always looking for a quick fix thing. So, okay, Richard, what's your third?
So my third one is the WaxVac. This would be a product that is designed to, again, this is, I think, solving one of those problems most people don't know they have, which is mountains of earwax apparently piling up in your ear every day, leading to deafness and loss of balance. I don't know what.
Listeners, if you have turned this podcast up beyond the 10 knob on your...
You might need this.
You might need this.
If you have one of those old-timey, like kind of like a horn.
Like tin horn.
Like
Granny from Beverly Hillbillies.
Exactly. Okay. And mainly this is on the list because of the infomercial. It is a fantastic infomercial. I urge you, stop the podcast. Well, first off, in general, stop listening to the podcast. Go track down this infomercial. Watch it. Because it is basically, it ticks off every like cliche of an infomercial. Starts off with somebody in black and white doing something bad.
Yeah.
Like the klutz, stupid person. In this case, it's somebody jamming a Q-tip about 3/4 of the way into their ear. As we're all wont to do. And then shouting the most pained, surprised, and immediate "ow" that you will ever hear. Just every time I watch this, I just die laughing. And my wife looks at me like I'm I've lost my mind, basically.
Yeah, a good aspect of these as seen on TV products is the depiction of idiocy.
Right.
And just no ability to get through life unless you have this product.
Like, how do you... He jumps as if somebody has, like, jammed an ice pick into his ear while he was sleeping. And he just woke up. Ow! Like, if you had a Q-tip and you're fishing around in your ear, you would hit a point where it's like, That's kind of uncomfortable.
And you stop. Yeah.
And then I'll go a little bit deeper. Oh, that's really bad. You wouldn't like go from this feels fine to like, my ear is on fire instantly.
Yeah.
So you've got that guy. You've got, let's see what else you got. Oh, you've got a physician giving his recommendation that actually isn't a recommendation.
Oh.
Dr. Alexander or whatever, says something like, it's true.
That's the
That's
doctor
actually
that I
his
go
name,
to.
yeah.
Whatever.
Was that your guys' OB?
Yeah.
He says something like, it's true. Using Q-tips or cotton swabs are bad for your ears.
But he doesn't recommend this product.
No.
He says that product is bad. Yeah.
He might not even know what the infomercial was for. They may just give him like $500 just to say something bad about cotton swabs.
Yeah.
And that's it.
And he graduated from the medical school of the Bermudas or something like
Right.
that. Yeah.
Another hallmark of this is that instead of showing you how it works, it shows you sort of how something similar to it might work. So one of the things that helps get water out of your ear if you've been swimming. Look, we've spilled water on the table. Look how it sucks it up. And it's like, wait, that's not the same thing.
Yeah.
The physics of my ear is not the same as water spilled on a table. Or look, to get earwax out, we'll show you. We put some dust on the table. Look how it sucks it up. It's like,
Anyway, any idiot knows that to get water off the table, you just put a ShamWow on it.
Yeah, that's it. Come on.
spoiler alert for my last note. It's actually not, and it doesn't work. I've seen reviews of this, and everyone says it doesn't work. It doesn't clean it up. It says that it's easy to clean. It's not. It says that it's totally silent. It is unless you turn it on.
Oh, yeah.
Then it's not.
Yeah.
And it doesn't actually suck anything up. And also sometimes they'll charge you like whatever they feel like charging you for shipping.
Pay for your own shipping and handling. That is the greatest con in the history of as seen on TV products. Here, it's free, except for $40 shipping. and handling.
$40.
I exaggerate, but
Yeah.
it's always like.
Yeah.
Also, if they try to get you with a 2-for-1, this thing isn't worth half as much as you think it is.
Yeah.
If they're giving you a second one, there's a good chance they're giving you a second one because this thing is a pile of crap that
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
spent 50 cents
At
to
some
make.
point, it's going to break.
Yeah. So again, I urge you for the ow guy. Just we'll put this up. We'll put this up on the website. Please watch it.
Michael?
My last one is under the category of first world problems, and that is the pasta boat, which is a big plastic Tupperware looking thing that you can cook spaghetti in.
Oh yeah.
That has a strainer on top, so you don't have to go through the incredibly awkward action of straining spaghetti, which is a very normal thing to do.
Yeah.
And it's just garbage. It's just a plastic thing that you cook spaghetti in. Just cook spaghetti normal, everyone. Just strain it normal, everybody.
Do you know how many people are injured by boiling water when they're trying to strain their spaghetti?
Yeah.
Especially if
upwards of 5 people a year.
Especially if it's in a black and white
Yeah, in the
montage.
Yeah, the pre-state.
Yeah,
versus
these
the
people on
dream.
these montages have like some sort of, I don't know, like neurological disorders
Yeah.
where their balance is off or they have tremors or something. If this is you, seek immediate medical help.
Yeah.
If you're not capable of like pouring water into a strainer from a pasta bowl, pan.
Would you say though that so we are in Los Angeles? It is not a stronghold of Italian American individuals.
Hey, what are you talking about over here?
So maybe in
Dr. Whatever over here was
hey,
is
Dr.
Italian.
Dr. Vinny Boombatz. But I wonder if the demographics of say New Jersey, New York, like if there's a stronger case for the increased pasta consumption and increased risk of scalding at the high temperatures.
I think it's the opposite. Because I think when if you're Italian, you just do it. You know how to do it. Your family. Straining spaghetti is a tradition that has been passed down from generation to
I
generation.
cook some in the ashtray in my Camaro on the drive home from the auto parts warehouse where I work.
I think they're counting on the middle-aged housewives from Iowa, where like penne pasta is like a delicacy.
Yeah.
Okay, I am glad that you brought up penne pasta.
Are we getting near pasta shapes? Rushmore pasta shapes.
One of the features of the pasta boat is that the handles are, heat-proof, heat-resistant.
Oh.
But then also, they're cylindrical, so you could measure out how much pasta
Oh.
you put in the thing.
Okay, now you're selling me on
which
this a little
which
bit.
only works if you are making like a spaghetti or a linguine. You can't measure out like macaroni
Yeah.
in this little like
Vermicelli,
handle of it.
yeah.
You can't measure out penne.
Well, again, because the people who are buying this aren't.
They're only
If
buying
they're making
spaghetti.
macaroni, it's macaroni and cheese that they got from the Kraft box. If they're they're probably making for spaghetti just for like spaghetti and meatballs or whatever. The ragu. No offense, Iowa. I'm guessing you, but I'm guessing you guys are not the center of Italian cuisine.
I do love that there are such a number of just items out there that are solving problems that generally don't exist.
Yeah.
That are so exaggerated that cooking pasta is the thing that it's the first thing that like a person learns to do out of college. Or like once you leave the home, it's like, okay, I can heat up water and I can put this thing in there for 9 minutes and then I can pour it out. You're effectively done cooking. It's the easiest thing to cook.
Yeah.
And there's a whole industry of these as seen on TV products that's built on, you know what? Even the easiest thing is the most difficult for so many
thing.
people.
Yeah.
I had a roommate in college, sophomore year, who I had to teach him how to make spaghetti. So there you go. So apparently,
But like, that's
you're slandering
you learn it.
everybody.
You learn,
Guten Abend. Meine Name ist Hans.
But he was like 24 or 25. He was like a later student. So he was like 24
maybe
by
that
that point.
explains it.
He also didn't know how to make a Pop-Tart. He didn't know if you put it in the microwave, did you have to take the foil
Oh, wow.
thing out?
you know
And
what's the
thank God I caught him on that one.
Do you know what's the greatest trick that Pop-Tarts ever played on you? Man, you don't need to heat that shit up.
No.
Just eat them normal.
That's what I do.
You burn your mouth if you heat them up.
I know. Just scarf them down.
You scrape your mouth if you don't. Either way, double-edged sword. Did you take any notes for the sitcom that would inevitably come out of you and the funny guy who doesn't know how to do anything, who was your roommate? Like Perfect Strangers, Redux?
Well, I moved in with Sarah about midway through first semester
Oh, okay.
like midway through the year. So
You became the guy who doesn't know how to do anything.
and has stayed that way in my marriage for the last 20 some odd years. He was a script reader for some.
Yeah.
It must have been like a really low budget like film company because he would read scripts and he'd tell me, so here's the description of it. Da, da, da. I think Bruce Boxleitner would be really good for this role, or like Richard Crenna or something like that. And it's like, you sure?
Yeah, you sure?
Sure, why not? Uh-huh.
Sure. Okay, Richard, it's your job to do the last one here.
Okay, so I am maybe flirting with the edges of as seen on TV. I don't think I am, but it is essentially
This is why I saved it for last.
any product that you will ever see advertised or sold on the Cutlery corner / the knife show, otherwise known as the greatest drunk TV you will ever find in your life. Basically, it's QVC, but for knives. You guys need more? I'm sorry. And it's hosted by, it's out of Chattanooga, Tennessee. And it's on, whenever, Discovery Channel goes off the air, it'll pop on for like 4 hours. And it's just these main guys, Tom Odell, and he talks like this, and he is very excited to tell you about this. Look at this knife. Look at this steel. You cannot find steel like this everywhere. He is so enthusiastic about every goddamn knife that they sell on this thing. He also, I think, drinks a lot.
Okay.
Which makes it
dangerous combo.
Makes it exciting. Sometimes he'll pull a katana out of the sheath and drop it and try to grab it like blade first. Or he'll have a giant knife and he'll start talking about it's not the size of the knife, it's what you do with it. And it's just fascinating. They sell, a lot of it is, you are guaranteed at some point during like a 4-hour viewing of this, there will be a 50-pack of Dale Earnhardt Jr. switchblades.
Oh, wow.
Or pocket knives. 100% there will be, the American flag, 25-piece knife set for like $24.
Yeah.
And you just think to yourself, who needs 100 Hank Williams Jr. pocket knives? Of course, the other question is who doesn't?
That's right.
need 100. What I can tell is I think essentially this must be for the guys who go to the flea markets and set up the tables and have like the pocket knives for like $2 each. And they buy it from these guys for like 50, buy it from the Cutlery corner for 50 cents each.
We
profit.
A couple episodes back I talked a little bit about travel and silence and how there's so much of this country that I haven't seen.
Yeah.
Man, whoever is buying these knives lives in this country that I have never seen.
We haven't talked much about our president in a while, but I feel like
there's a lot of MAGA knives going on here. A lot of Trump knives. So I want us to play a clip from this. So we're gonna play a clip. I want you guys to really just get a sense of the wonder that is Tom Odell.
Hey, what if I toss in a brand new item, the big Kahuna sword, going into the deal right now? Now, folks, this is the Hackmaster 5000. There's no doubt about it. There's not a bush. There's not a tree. Obviously, you get the point. Tonight, the Hackmaster 3000 going into the deal. I just don't know where to put it. Maybe it'll go this way. Nah, it'll never go that way. I don't know what to do with it. This is not going to work. Let's see. Let's do it this way. Nah, it never worked that way. What if I...
There's a very surreal, freeform, kind of Dadaist nature to that. That almost has a David Lynch feel. It's so...
I have a few comments.
Yes.
Having seen that. One, there seems to be this... it's like cosplay for like...
Yeah. Those knives.
Sad, overly emasculated people out there that are just like trying to fulfill some sort of...
or those young trenchcoat mafia types who pose on Instagram with their knife collection. You know, usually a black fedora, and they're about
that kind of knife sword is usually seen being held up by someone at a Star Trek convention.
Yeah,
right.
Two, I remember an episode of Home Movies where Coach McGurk was like crazy drunk at some point and ordered a bunch of knives just off the TV, and that is 100% what he was watching.
Right.
And he just got swords and he tried to return them, and then he couldn't. I forget what my third point was.
It doesn't matter.
That's sad.
Tom Odell's the best, and sometimes he'll just, like I said, it airs in Chattanooga, from Chattanooga, Tennessee. I believe that they probably start taping at about midnight. So I think Tom's a few shots in.
It makes me nostalgic for the days of just the Ginsu knife.
Yeah.
Where you could just cut through a tin can and then you could cut through a tomato in that order.
Well, you could do it with his katana, I guarantee you.
And a tree.
And your hand. And sometimes he'll just talk about the NASCAR race that was that day, what he's doing that weekend. Sometimes they have the knives on like a circular it's
rotator,
like a lazy Susan or something, and sometimes it doesn't work right, so they have to kind of do it by hand.
Yeah,
and it's just like it's like this sub public access quality, but I guarantee you they are making money hand over fist on this, and I think it's because almost of the slipshod, crummy nature of the presentation that people watch. Now, I do want to point out, I have heard rumors that Tom has been fired from Cutlery Corner.
Oh, wow.
I cannot confirm this. I'll work on confirming this. We will update this in a future episode. But if he has been fired, why? Because why else would you watch this goddamn show if it's not for Tom Odell having a stream of consciousness, whatever comes into his incredible mind.
Richard, it's about the knives. It's always been about the knives.
And the knives. But if he has been fired, I'm going to urge all of our listeners, contact Cutlery Corner. Let them know this cannot stand.
But I do think it's really cool you guys very frequently take two alternative approaches to it. And I think Michael is very much kind of an inward, kind of your bubble kind of extends kind of right around you, and you're measuring the impact of these items that come off the television and how they impact you. And Richard, I think it's fun seeing how you observe how they impact the culture. Michael is about things you consume, like pasta or burgers that come off this grill, and it's about things that you put on or transform your body with, like a Snuggie or a car battery that's in disguise as something called the AbGymnic.
That's unbelievable.
So
So when you got it, did you look at it and go, okay, yeah, no, this will work.
Ready to rock and roll.
I just love that kind of micro scale. And then Richard usually goes macro, which is really funny, seeing how it impacts the culture, the football phone, Freedom Rock, the WaxVac, and the Cutlery Corner. This is something that is broadcast out from this small, creepy place in Memphis, Tennessee.
Chattanooga. Oh, they wish they were in Memphis.
They wish they were in Memphis.
No, Chattanooga, boys.
So really cool. Okay, so this week we're going to score it thusly. Just for the personal pain that you went through, I think Michael gets a point for AbGymnic because that hurt.
My abs have still not fully recovered.
It's obviously that hurt. And just due to the backstory that you gave us on this, the Sports Illustrated football phone, Richard, was really cool. Also going to go Richard again on Freedom Rock, because that's another trademark of your picks, and that is cultural observation and seeing the lasting impact that your picks have made. And it looks like we're going to split it 2 and 2 because Michael did a really good job of scrutinizing the entire marketing ploy of the as seen on TV products by determining that they themselves create a non-problem. Take a non-problem, turn it into a problem. And that is never seen any more clearly than with the pasta boat. I mean, come on.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Come on. So this has been the As Seen on TV episode of the Mount Rushmore podcast. I, as always, am Jeff.
I'm Richard.
I'm Michael.
So my point is, it ain't easy being a product on television.